Well, good evening. My name is Brittany Francis, and I am so incredibly excited to be your host tonight for Testimony Tuesday. This technology has been utilized by my husband and I for the last 19 months. And what I can tell you is that we have seen more changes in our life and the people that we love than I can even begin to describe. So, what we like to do as a family, we're actually part of a team called Top Tier Team, is we like to get together one night a week and we like to share what is happening within our lives, within our organization, and so that we can speak to one another about what is happening and hold a candle of hope to someone else. So if you're a guest tonight, my prayer tonight is that you are going to be filled with hope. You are going to be filled with hope for your future, for the future of those that you love, and really, truly for your family. So with that, what I would like to do is I would love to actually bring on a gentleman. His name is Dr. Jones, and he's actually going to be sharing because we love to open up with one testimony. And man, when I heard this testimony, I was just absolutely just overwhelmed with excitement. And so, Dr. Jones, I would love for you to unmute yourself, and then I would love to highlight you for the team. You are muted. There you go. Yeah, no problem. Let's see. Let's see if I can unmute you. Let's see. I asked to unmute. You should get the button.
Yes, I think I'm unmuted now. Does that work?
Oh,
Can you hear?
yes, sir.
Okay, good evening, everyone. My name is Dr. Bill Jones. I'm an internal medicine specialist, which is simply adult medicine. 17 years ago, I switched my practice to weight loss and wellness. So now I take patients off of medication as they lose weight. Um, Back in, let's see, it was May of 2024, Memorial Day 2024, last year. I was barbecuing at home and getting ready with the family. I'm kind of a type A personality. I'm from the New York City area. I'm always rushing in a hurry. And remember being very frustrated. My family wasn't there right away as I was grilling out. I wanted the burgers to come off the grill onto the plate. So I was getting a little flustered. The next thing you know, I'm slurring my speech. I'm thinking, oh, okay, I'm just tired. It's no big deal. And my wife noticed it. She's a doctor as well, and she's a OBGYN. She didn't make much of either. We both thought it was not a big deal. Well, woke up the next morning. I'm limping, dragging the garbage can out to the front of the house. And again, I'm in denial. Doctors aren't the greatest patients, which is a little secret. Turned out I went to the ER. Turned out I had a small stroke right in the front part of the brain, right around here, which affects the right side. I was hospitalized. I did vigorous physical therapy, occupational therapy. I was released, went home weeks later. Doing well with physical therapy. I started seeing patients again, but wasn't really driving, wasn't doing much, but trying to recuperate. A good friend of mine introduced me a month later in June of 2024. I'm sorry, last June. I'm sorry. Last June, introduced me to June 10th to be exact, to this patch. I applied. I was hoping it would be helpful. I understood the principle of it. I heard many testimonies like we're going to hear tonight. I said to myself, there's too many people with too many positive testimonies. That's unusual. This must be something to this. I've had the patch every day since last June. Since then, I've been discharged from physical therapy and occupational therapy. They said, okay, you're good. We'll see you next March. Since then, I've been able to do things around the house I didn't think I'd had the desire to. I cleared my entire back of the house, the deck, furniture, moving chairs and tables alone by myself, putting on the work gloves. That was my physical therapy. I just cleaned out a 3-car garage. I've had now the desire to do things, to work hard. I drive now. I see patients. And I'll tell you, I had the desire to do this. I wanted to get better. But that extra little push, the desire, the stamina, I attribute to what this company has produced, this wonderful, amazing patch system that works with your body. And so I don't foresee not having this patch. I'm 64. You're to wear it every decade of a month for every decade of your life. And so that means I'm at least going to go through December, but I'll tell you, I'll probably go longer than that.
I love it.
So far, what I've seen is fantastic. I think anyone who's thinking of joining this company, do it. The people here are wonderful, very helpful, true servant leaders. I haven't seen that in 22 years of doing network marketing and a lot of health related products. But this eclipses it all. I've never seen anything like this in my life. And I'm very fortunate and very grateful to be here.
I'm so grateful for you, Dr. Jones. So I'm going to ask you because we're about to go into the science of this technology, and then we've got tons of other testimonies that we're wanting to share. So, in your medical experience, what have you seen with this technology? I mean, how would you describe this technology compared to the other things that have been brought on your path?
Yeah, this goes back to the basic sciences in college and med school. We learn about something called stem cells. Also called pluripotent cells. It's a fancy word for saying your body, you're an amazing machine. In fact, thank your parents before you go to bed tonight, wherever they may be. They gave you an incredible machine. Well, these stem cells have the potential to go out and recreate whatever needs to be recreated or healed: bone, eyes, tissue, liver, muscle. It has the potential to do that. So what David Schmidt has done for us is with this patch, a simple patch, reflects back your own body's light, stimulating the stem cells, which then reactivate and heal. Everyone's different. It's not complicated. Try it and you'll see the results. Everyone's different, different results for different people. But I've heard about a little bit about phototherapy. This is newer. I'll tell you this: I think we are now in the at the threshold of a new age in healthcare right now. In fact, I'd say we're in the golden age. There've been many great products before this I've dealt with since 2003. This eclipses all of them.
Wow. Wow. Oh, Dr. Jones, thank you so much for opening us up. I'm so grateful. And this is just the beginning of your story. So we're just very excited to see what ends up happening because it's just going to get stronger and stronger. So thank you for bringing your expertise to the table today. And I just can't wait for more and more things to be happening for you. So this is just the beginning. So thank you so much, Dr. Jones.
Thank you, Brittany.
So this world is in stem cells, like he said. So your body, exactly like Dr. Jones said, your body is completely different than every single person's body that you're going to be hearing the testimonies. And that's very important to talk about because your to-do list of your body's stem cells is going to be different than your neighbor, right? And so do understand that we do not cure or treat chronic diseases or illnesses, okay? This technology does not heal or cure you. What you're about to hear with this science is that how it sets your body up to do what your body was actually created to do, which is fix itself. Our body was our body was created in an incredible, incredible way. Okay, so why this technology that Dr. Jones was just talking about? So this is very important to understand about stem cells first before you hear all these other testimonies. Okay, by the time we're 30, half of our stem cells, they go dormant. They go to sleep. By the time we're 60, 90% of them are asleep. Okay. And the fewer stem cells that you have, the faster you age and the slower that you heal. Okay. So our stem cells, like Dr. Jones said, they are undifferentiated cells. They are the master building block of the entire body. So if our stem cells are asleep, they do not have the ability to go and fix whatever needs to be fixed. It is their job to naturally repair and naturally renew. They're heat-seeking missiles. So if you have awake and alert stem cells, they are going to go through your body and put together a to-do list. Okay, so they're found throughout various tissues and organs. And that word undifferentiated means that if you have a cardiac issue, and you have stem cells that are awake and alert, they're going to triage and they're going to travel and they're going to start focusing on the areas that need to be fixed with your cardiac issues or your brain issues or muscle issues. The list goes on and on and on. And so stem cells are really a hot topic, right? Because for thousands of dollars, you can go and get them injected. Well, what if you could just wake them up and they could take care of your inflammation? They can regenerate. They can go through and control and repair the issues that are broken down in your body with age or just trauma, right? And then they also fight viruses and bacteria and they energize your body. So, David Schmidt is who Dr. Jones was talking about. He's incredibly brilliant. He has over 200 patents. And on this technology, he has actually over 70 global patents. By the end of next year, he'll have closer to 300 patents, if not just over 300 patents. He's incredibly brilliant. But I want to bring some validity because Dr. Jones, I mean, this is a very normal testimony that he just gave. And you're going to hear even more tonight. I want to bring validity to the company because this is very, very important. He specializes now in age reversal, okay, like damage reversal, okay? But in 2000, and well, actually early 2000s, it was almost in the late 90s, he was working with the government and he was actually contracted by the government to come up with something that the Navy SEALs could use that would keep them awake for 24 to 36 hours straight, ready for combat. Okay, so David Schmidt worked with our government. He was already doing defense weaponry. He was already in that world, and they just knew he was brilliant. So they said, David Schmidt, our military, our Navy SEALs are hooked on amphetamines. We have a real problem on our hands, and we need you to come up with something that the Navy SEALs can use that would keep them awake, ready for combat without putting any drug in their system. So that's the slide that you're looking at right now is he began to look and he was like, okay, if they can't take anything internal, let's look at the chemical reactions of light. Okay, so he began to study light frequency. He actually found a book called Principles of Light and Color that he studied. And what it spoke about is that there are actual different chemical reactions that the body creates in response to different colors of light. So he was really leaning into this, and he actually inside the body found that we have biophotons, which are actually just living cells that emit light and that there's chemical reactions initiated when light hits the body. So he actually used a digital infrared thermal imaging, okay? This he used to start studying the body and the light frequency because if there's light inside us, we must emit. And so he did find that true. There's nothing weird about that. That's how we find each other through infrared guns, right? He found that we actually emit light between 1 to 2 centimeters off of our body. So remember, he was looking for how can I create energy for these Navy SEALs? Well, he found a specific red light that when reflected back into the body actually naturally elevated adrenaline. There was a release of adrenaline. So our Navy SEALs began to utilize this technology, and all of a sudden he went, okay, well, this is good. All right. So Stanford University got wind of it. And then all of a sudden, the swimmers at Stanford University began to utilize this technology because remember, it's not putting anything inside the body. This is early 2000s. And Michael Phelps began to utilize it. There were records that were broken everywhere. And David Schmidt realized he was onto something huge because there are all kinds of different colors of light frequency. So he went on a mission. He began to use that exact machine and he began to study the different wavelengths that the body begins to emit off of itself the second that we're born. We emit light frequency. And he began to look and he found one specific frequency that the body would naturally, when reflected back our own light, naturally elevate melatonin. Our body would naturally lower cortisol. Our body would naturally elevate glutathione, which kills viruses. But he was on a mission because he knew one thing. He knew that stem cells go dormant. And he said, if I can create a way, all natural, instead of injecting to wake up stem cells, I'm on a mission and I'm going to do this. He spent 10 years and $4.5 million. This is why you're about to hear even more testimonies tonight. The X39. This technology, what it does is it reflects a frequency of light back into the body. And because the body has chemical reactions, the body automatically elevates a GHKCU peptide. And that GHKCU peptide is known as really the holy grail of healing. It was found in 1973. And when they looked at this peptide, they said, oh my gosh, There's not much this peptide doesn't do. Well, when this peptide is elevated, stem cells are actually activated as well. So not just lung protection, not just cells growing back, not just brain and nerves being healed, but all of a sudden the stem cells begin to fix. The stem cells wake up. And this GHKCU compared to any other peptide is extremely powerful. Okay, it comes through and it increases collagen, elastin, and this is important because that is the matrix of our body. So Dr. Jones, what he is expressing is how he's able to move in a way that he did not know if he was going to be able to move again. Well, it's because the elasticity in his body is coming back. Okay, so there's nothing that goes inside the body. This technology just has nanocrystals that are embedded inside in a very specific way that when you look under a microscope, it's actually a mirror. And they're woven together in such a beautiful way that it catches and reflects a frequency of light back into the body. So imagine that your body right now has a dimmer switch. And as you utilize this technology, the longer that you utilize this patch right here, okay, that the dimmer switch actually begins to go up and up and up. And the more stem cells that wake up, the body begins to fix what it needs to fix. Within the first few days, 4,000 genes begin to reset. 70% of people feel a miracle between 5 minutes and 5 days. Then within 6 weeks, the brain becomes balanced. That's why Dr. Jones is like, man, I know I need to utilize this at least through this amount of time. And he'll probably use it much longer. Why? Because our stem cells still go dormant, right? So it at that 6 week mark, you're going to hear some powerful testimonies tonight. You will see some changes, PTSD, anxiety, depression, memory loss, special needs. We have a child that we were told would never drive. She's in driving school. Okay. So absolutely incredibly brilliant because that balancing begins to happen in the brain. And then within 3 months, there's that collagen, that elasticity in your body begins to increase. And so your ability to move, there's a reason why our Navy SEALs love this, our military loves this, and our sports enthusiasts love this. Okay. Because the body begins to move in a way that it was not able to move for years prior. And then within 6 months, it's clinically proven that the cardiovascular age of the heart actually reverses. Okay, so this is not anti-aging. This is literally age reversal. It's actually after 3 years of research, LifeWave was actually able to say, and that's our company, was actually able to say, look, we can without a shadow of a doubt say that you utilize this technology. 86% of people tested reversed in age after 6 months of utilizing this. 8.5 years. What you are looking at is what we truly believe to be the most prolific regenerative technology of our lifetime. And that's why we come on Tuesday nights to tell the testimonies. But I wanted to bring validity to it because it's extremely brilliant and the patent is locked tight. And you can't fold this into a rocket ship and say it's a rocket ship. You have to prove that it works. And the patent elevating that GHKCU peptide, the body naturally elevating it instead of injecting anything is brilliant. So it's that proprietary form of phototherapy. When we're children, our parents say, get outside and get your vitamin D, right? And we learned that vitamin D came from the sun. And I know Dr. Jones would be like, absolutely not. The body produces vitamin D. Okay. So then you have to understand that the nanocrystal technology is not putting anything inside your body. It's non-dermal, non-transferable, does not get in the way of any medications. Okay. Gets in the way of no medications whatsoever. So it's extremely sophisticated, but very, very simple to explain. Our doctors are really starting to love this. They're just really starting to love this because they're seeing what their patients are going to see for years versus them going, look, let's mask this, let's mask that, what about if you put your body in the optimal level, the optimum point, so your body can begin to do what your body was created to do, right? And so I just love it because we have so many nurses, so many doctors that jump on here and go, well, let me take a look at this. And then when they really look at the science, They're absolutely floored. So you're about to hear a lot of testimonies from increased strength all the way to mental clarity, increased stamina, and the list is about to go on and you're going to be floored. So that, and also I want to quickly cover that GHKCU can help accelerate in a massive way wound healing. Okay, in animals, in dogs, in cats, in whatever you can imagine. So that GHKCU, this peptide that we're talking about tonight, is extremely, extremely powerful. Now, I love the fact that we actually have several medical professionals on tonight. And so I would love to bring on Nurse Jenny Atwell. I am so excited to hear this testimony. Jenny, are you there?
I think I am. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. Okay. So, gosh, a testimonial, they said. So, I would say that, first of all, I am a retired nurse, and my husband is a retired farmer agronomist. I am a mom of three and a stepmom of three, grandma to five. My husband and I sold our house and everything in it 3 years ago and became full time RVers. So we have six kids between Utah and Maine. We are currently in Maine. We spend our winters in South Texas. My cousin Gina, she's cousin by marriage, she presented to me this video in June and said, Jenny, you got to look at this. And of course, I looked at it and a light bulb went off as to why not. It made sense to me. And I had my husband look at the video, and he was diagnosed several years ago with cerebellum is deteriorating, and a neurologist told him there's basically nothing you can do. But the reason we went to the neurologist is because he started shuffling, and I was like, you're going to fall. And he's like, well, I feel like I'm going to fall, so I'm just shuffling. I'm scared I'm going to fall. So they basically said it'll decline every year. There's no fix, there's no cure. And when I saw this video, I thought, if we could even just slow down the decline and let's just take a chance. And anything else is going to be a bonus. If it does anything else, well, that was, I would say, that was the first. By the time we started patching, it was probably the second week of June. But May 15th, right before that, my husband had a small cell carcinoma removed from his left temple. And he's diabetic. He's 76. So poor circulation, poor healing, blah, blah, blah. But he started patching. I should say, I'm sorry. He came out of that surgery with 20 stitches on the side of his face. And he started patching the second week of June. By July 2nd, it was minimal. I've got before and after pictures that people are just blown away. And I tell them, with the diabetic, it's poor healing, it's slow healing, and this has been, it blows them out of the water. And on top of that, his blood sugars, he has been, I would say, a non-compliant diabetic for many years. And after he married a nurse, I said, you've got to try a little harder. And the best we could do was 8.6 for an A1C. And if you know anything about A1Cs, it really needs to be below 7. And he started, like I said, the second week of June, started patching. And in July, well, the end of June, he was having some up and down sugars. So I took it upon myself because I'm a nurse and we are horrible patients, but we're always trying to fix the world, right? And I took it upon myself to lower his long acting insulin from 70 units twice a day to 45 units twice a day. And then we went in for his A1C, and I started panicking. Like, I'm going to have to explain to the doctor what I did. I probably did it too soon. I probably jumped the gun. We went in there, and his A1C was 7.7. And I felt like I passed the boards all over again. So I was pretty excited. And I know the only reason it was that way is because of the patch. It was, even though I would love for it to go straight to the cerebellum and start healing that, it went straight to the pancreas. And another thing on him, he's got a hiatal hernia, so he is on Pepsid AC twice a day for years. And he has not had any Pepsid AC since the probably the first middle part of July. It's like those kind of things you don't manipulate that. That it either happens or it doesn't. So I am just so excited about the patches.
I love it. So, so I am going to ask you the same thing as Dr. Jones because I love it when we have medical professionals. Um, have you seen anything in the medical world like this? Because I don't know anything other than what has happened for me and my husband. I always close out with our testimony. So, I hear from doctors now all the time that they've never seen anything like this. But from a nurse's perspective, have you seen anything like this?
No, 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 nothing. And I know it was supposed to be a testimonial on mine, and mine is more. I don't have any numbers for it yet, but I could say that 17 years ago I was in a really bad car accident where a semi hit my car on the interstate from behind, full speed. So the grill of his truck was at the back of my driver's seat. So I really shouldn't even be here right now. But I had a lot of broken bones. And as a nurse, I've seen a lot of patients come back from horrible accidents and they are struggling to find more, to be more, and they are in so much pain. And the pain meds don't even touch that. And I didn't want to be one of those patients that were struggling and looking for pain meds and looking for healing. And so I was like, I was okay with the new normal. I'm going to hurt some. Well, for 17 years, I've taken Tylenol extra strength every day, two of them every day, ibuprofen if I'm going to have a busy day or a lot of activity. And I usually fold because I had a lot of broken bones. And I usually fold out of the bed in the morning, all stoved up and stiff. And after a week of patching, I got right out of bed, walked to the end of the bed, and I was like, wait a minute. What just happened? I had just gotten up and didn't, creak and get out of bed. And I haven't had Tylenol extra strength or ibuprofen since June. And that's major. But again, that's not like a number you can see, but it's to me that's huge because Tylenol extra strength every day, all day, and ibuprofen, that's not good for your liver. And so in the end, I win. And so and that's patch related. That's all there is to it.
I love it. Thank you so much for sharing. This is why we do Testimony Tuesday. All I do
Right.
is get a text. Yes.
Thank you. We love it.
I love it. So that is so awesome. So I get text messages all day. So if you have not text messaged me, it's okay. You're going to just put your little cursor on the react heart button and you can click it and it says raise your hand. But I got a text message earlier from Dawn Jackson. So I would love to see if Dawn Jackson could unmute herself. I'm so excited to hear about what she has to share. She's right there. I see her. Oh,
It's not Dawn.
there he
It's
is. That's
Jerry.
Jerry. I was like, is Dawn going to share for Jerry or is Jerry going to share? Yay.
I'm going to share.
I love it. Jerry, share away.
Okay. Uh, Most of my life, my lower back has been a problem. Uh, but in 2024, it really started going down my legs, sciatica, and by the first part of 2025. I had lost strength in my legs. I couldn't really climb a ladder. I needed to do that for, work related stuff. But also it had gotten to the point where I have to drive a lot to go to work. And by the time I get to my destination, I was at a point where I couldn't get out of the car, I had to slowly pull myself up and stand there for several minutes just so I could walk. And we had some great friends over in Houston that introduced us to the patch, and Dawn and I both started on it the first part of February. And 3 weeks went by, and I was having the same problem. And then uh, the third week, I drove home, jumped out of the car. I didn't have to stand there and wait. I was able to just take off walking, and the pain that was going down my legs ceased. Um, and several other small things like I don't have to take allergy pills anymore. My Nexium is kind of on and off. Also, the joints in my fingers, it always felt like it had. I don't know how to explain it, but you felt like you had to pop them all the time. And it's just little things like that as well that the 39 took care of. There you go.
I love it. And you're back on the aren't you back on the golf on the golf
Yeah,
golf
matter of
team?
fact, I came off the course today.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. I didn't
Good.
play very well, but I did it.
Good. Well, I am so happy. I love it. Oh, you guys, see that? I'm telling you, that is the power of what we have our hands on. It's just incredible. Now, I got a text, and is it Vilu? If you could unmute yourself, I'm so excited to hear this testimony. Yep.
Hello, guys.
Yes, ma'am.
So I have something very beautiful to share. I have the honor to guide several people through my holistic practice, and there's a beautiful family that I have been touched so much by. One of their wins is young lady, family member of theirs is in the spectrum, and she does not want to usually participate in any activities when it comes to coming up to a board that they can manipulate and kind of show and tell and learn and participate with the peers. Um, After 1 week of patching with the X39, her mom received a beautiful text message from the staff with a picture of this beautiful young lady happily standing in front of the board, just sharing that she had actually initiated to walk up and participate. This is something that shocked the staff so much that they took a picture and communicated with mom right away. That's a huge, huge win. And so, as a mom and a practitioner and a friend of many who have angels like this, um, if this is the only person I have ever been able to touch through sharing this beautiful patch, that's all the wins I need. So I wanted to share that with you guys. There is hope.
I love it. Yeah, I mean, it's very, very normal. I mean, it's just so neat. And so how long have they been patching?
She had been patching for about a week with the X39.
Yeah, this is just the beginning. So
Yeah.
we just got a message just the other day, and they'll be sharing in a couple weeks that just after 3 days, their child actually started speaking, and so that's very normal. So if you're on tonight and you have a family member that you say, "Gosh, I just want them to have a normal, feel like a normal person," guys, this technology is so incredibly brilliant this your body and all the things that need to be fixed, it's going to happen. So just so grateful. So Rick Wickens, I would love for you to unmute and for you to share what you have seen. I am just so excited for you to share tonight because I know that there've been some additional changes. So I would love to hear from you. And we have a leaf in front, so you might want to hold it because we have your leaf.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Sorry. So got a little plant going on there. So yeah, no, I was privileged to have Ricky Francis call me about 6 months ago and let me know about the patches. And I got involved with it about 6 months ago. Now, 6 months ago, uh, I was taking 20 milligrams of lisinopril per day, plus a baby aspirin with my vitamin intake. And I was in extreme pain also. I was taking lisinopril for 22 years, and I had an accident, car accident in 1986 where I broke all my bones on my left-hand side of my body except my legs. So I cut my elbow in half, snapped my shoulder bone, cracked my collarbone in three spots, snapped all my ribs, cracked my pelvic bone. So as you can imagine, as time went on, and the winter months especially, my bones would start to get arthritic and they'd hurt, especially the bones that you couldn't cast. So I was in a lot of pain. So I used to have to balance the lisinopril and the aspirin in the mornings with late afternoon taking of ibuprofen and Advil because that thickens your blood. So it was a mix, but I had to do it because I was in so much pain. I no longer take any any aspirin for blood thinning. My blood pressure is the best it's been since my 30s. I'm 58 years old. In 28 years, I'm getting great results. I've cut my lisinopril in half to 10 milligrams a day, and my blood pressure has gone down to where it was in my 30s. Pretty excited about that. Also, I don't take ibuprofen. I haven't taken any Advil at all, any ibuprofen for 6 months. The patches ignited on my body and just really took off. I have a couple pictures I sent to Brittany also on the back of my head. You can't see it on too much, but I had a before and after picture 6 months ago. You're looking at the top of my head. I had ingrained sunspots on the top of my head, and the doctor had told me that if the sunspots turned black, I would have to have them removed by scalpel, and he needed to keep an eye on that. 6 months later, uh, I have no sunspots on the back of my head. They totally disappeared. And you cannot just have sunspots disappear unless they're surgically removed via laser, via scalpel. So this works. My body's healing at an incredible rate. I tell people all the time that see me, they say, "Hey, Rick, if you can see my arms are a little, they're kind of big, but I work out quite a bit at the gym, and I'm working out and doing lifting like I did it in my late 20s to early 30s, and I run a stairmaster at a very high level. Uh, it's just incredible. My heart, breathing, everything is just so much better. My wife, she's gone tonight with my oldest son, and she also had bad asthma. She was using two inhalers. She was using albuterol and a steroid inhaler. For 6 months, she hasn't used one inhaler. Her asthma is not bothered her. It's gone. It's incredible. And she was using these inhalers once a day, and the steroids you'd use probably once every other day. And I mean, she would have to gasp to breathe. We'd go to a Walgreens and buy those oxygen cans and that you can, inhale it with straight oxygen. We haven't done any of that. None, not at all. To me, it's just amazing. And I thank Brittany and Ricky Francis for bringing this technology to us because it's truly, truly, truly amazing.
Oh, I'm just so excited. Thank you, Rick, for sharing. I love hearing the updates. And, it was amazing because I didn't know about his wife's asthma until she actually shared with us in Albuquerque. And it blew my mind because remember, when we talk about that GHKCU peptide, remember all the other things that happen. So you can't always attribute all of it to just the stem cells. It's just the fact of what ends up happening with with the elevation of that GHKCU peptide. So it's just absolutely incredibly brilliant. We have one more that would like to share, and really, this one's really incredible. What a way to almost finish the night. David Pipkin, I'd love to hear what's going on for your mom because man, what we have seen so far, and I will, as you're sharing, I'm going to go ahead and find where your mama's testimony, your text message that you sent me was just absolutely powerful not too long ago. So, David?
Yes, I haven't had a chance to share since and my mom nominates me to do this stuff, and then of course the reason she nominates me to do it is because she gets too emotional, right? And then I go and get emotional. So I I guess it runs in the genes, but yeah, I started patching back November 1st. We saw results really quickly. Day 12, my wife's neck unlocked. That's a whole other story. She had a car accident when she was 16, and her neck locked about 3 years into our marriage, and we just celebrated anniversary number 13. So it was nearly or probably solid 10 years that her neck was locked, and it actually completely unlocked. She has full range of motion. So that happened on day 12 for her. And so from that point forward, excuse me, we really started dripping on my mother about getting on this patch because she has a lot of issues going on. And so I guess I'll get to the chase here because I love the point that the nurse, and I'm sorry I forgot her name, but the nurse made earlier about how important documentation is. I mean, don't cut short your experiences because I can share with you things how I feel, and I just had a doctor's visit this week from my eye doctor, and she comes in and goes, "What are you doing? Your vision's improved." So there's all these little stories like that, but my mother's is really significant because in March, right around mid March, was when she finally got on the patch. And the triggering event was she had visited the nephrologist and they told her that her kidney function was at 23%. She was stage 4 kidney disease and heading towards stage 5. And that then you're talking dialysis and all kinds of other nightmarish scenarios. So that was finally the okay, what have I got to lose? And unfortunately, that's what happens a lot of times. People don't act until there's enough pain. But she finally realized I need to do something different, so she got on the patch in March. She's been going in every 2 months since then. So her most recent appointment was in September. The improvement, after being told it would not improve, the improvement went from 23 to 30%. That was March to May. 30 to 40% May to July, and then here we go. This last appointment, July to September, she jumped up 19 points. She's at 59% kidney function, 1 point away from being stage 2. And the funny thing about this is that the doctors don't know what to do. They still have her classified as stage 4 because she wasn't supposed to improve. That's what's in their books. They don't know what else to do with that. Let me also throw in a couple of little items that she shared with me today, that she is almost completely off her thyroid medicine in 6 months. She's gone from 75 milligrams a day down to where the doctors have prescribed 25 milligrams a day, which my mother is now taking one pill every other day. So I think she's in process of weaning off of that completely. And then some other things that have happened with regard to some other conditions that have gone on. She is now feeling confident, and my mom will be 85 this November, and she's talking to me today about wanting to get out and go to church again and meet people. And so there's various things that at 85 there's things that happen in your body that make it where you feel not so confident about going out and being with people and things like that. And so to hear your mother say that, it's every bit as powerful as those numbers. So don't cut short your personal stories. They mean as much as the numbers do.
Oh, David, look at that. Oh my goodness. Guys, this is what we have our hands on. So, right before we close, don't jump off. But real quickly, Dr. Jones, in all your experience, because I'm like, I love the fact that we actually have a doctor right now that we can just refer to. Have you ever seen anything like this in a holistic way, or anyway? I don't know. Anyway, at all. What have you seen? Like, what are your thoughts?
That's a great question, Brittany. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's a great question. I go back as far as 2003 with internal medicine, where at that time I started introducing natural products. I still have a handful of very selective, high quality natural products that I use. Still to this day, I explain to patients what it does for your body, how your body utilizes it, and they help. They help immensely. I have never, like I said, we were at the threshold or in the beginning of a new age, a golden age in healthcare. I've never seen anything like this. This isn't a class by itself. The physiology behind it, all the medicine behind it, is how the body works is amazing. Again, it goes back to this. I tell my patients, I'm just a coach. Your body does all the work. I get rid of excess body fat. Your body heals nicely by doing that and repairs itself. Uses antioxidants, excuse me, fruits and vegetables and capsules. But this is heads above. This is at the core of what makes you you. Your flesh, your body, how it works. It activates it, and I don't think it can get any better than that. I think David Schmidt, if he hasn't had it already, he's on his way to a Nobel Prize.
Yep. Well, how else could you close out on that one? It's like, oh my gosh. My husband and Dr. Jones, you're gonna love this. He's actually probably the worst nightmare of a patient that you could have ever had. My husband was bleeding internally from the esophagus, and he was able to actually cancel his iron infusions after just a few short weeks. And I actually was scheduled to have a surgery on my arm. I was able to cancel the surgery and I was off of my thyroid medication. And from what I've heard from doctors, that is almost impossible to do. And so, I was not even aware of my body as far as what I was even putting in it. And now I'm very aware because I've seen what my body can do when it's activated. So thank you so much, Dr. Jones, for being our special guest tonight. Ladies, one thing that I think is very important to say is that after 3 days, my husband stopped snoring. So you're going to put this patch where you need it. Okay. You're going to get back to the person that invited you. You're going to put it where you need it. So if you have an arm issue, back issue, neck issue, put it wherever it is. But for patent purposes, to remember, you can't fold this and say that it's a rocket unless it flies. Okay. For patent purposes, they had to pick two locations for control to make sure it worked. So they selected the back of the neck for the most open point to the brain. You saw me take mine off earlier. And then underneath the belly button for the most open point to the gut. Okay. You're going to wear it 12 hours a day, stay hydrated with electrolytes, and know that Dr. Jones said it, at minimum 1 month per decade that you're alive. Once you hit that 6 month mark, you're going to the mitochondrial level of your body, the telomere level of your body, and they begin to lengthen at a very healthy lengthening. And so you're going to see some major changes. There is a documentary that's being released about our company in the next few months, and we are so incredibly excited. It's called The Code of Creation, and originally it was going to be Let There Be Light, but The Code of Creation is really amazing, and it talks about how ingenious David Schmidt is. So if you look at this and you go, just put the patch on and see. And if there were some testimonies that you say, well, what about this? What about this? The answer is yes. This is at info.com. You can go there, tap testimonies, and then you'll see tons of different testimonies of anything that you can imagine, which I was writing everything down and I was like, no, we're pretty much going to cover it all tonight. So, and if there's more that you want to see later on, once you start wearing the patches and you say, oh my gosh, then you can absolutely watch even Dr. Zoom's tomorrow night. We have an incredible chiropractor from actually the MBA that's going to be sharing about his experience on the technology. So between that and this, it's just amazing to see all these incredible doctors share about what is happening in their practices. This becomes your miracle inbox. I love it. When I see a text message, I say, oh my gosh, just another miracle. So you can wear it, you can share it, you can just wear it. Okay, whatever is right for you, but just know that you want to get back to the person that invited you to this call. You can get the core, which is 3 months worth of the X39. You can split that up however you want to split it, but there's 30 of these in each of the sleeves. That's the little envelope that you receive, and you may mix and match. So if somebody invited you and they say, let's mix and match. Some of the other technologies are incredibly brilliant, but remember the X39 is your mama bear patch. There's one that actually blocks the pain between 5 seconds and 15 seconds when utilized. And so you can actually block your pain immediately while your stem cells are waking up. So that's a great option as well. And then also the advanced, that is a great option. It knocks down the price to you for $89 because remember, for $3.33 a day, this is going to change your life. For $3.33 a day, there's nothing else like it. And then if you have a lot of kids like me and my husband, you can jump in at the premium level, which is what we did because we have so many children. So with that, everybody, all I would say is don't block your blessing. Watch what ends up happening and watch what ends up happening for your loved ones. It's so incredibly exciting. And my prayer is that this is going to be a bookmark for you, that tonight you're going to get back to the person or the person that sent you this recording because they thought of you. Get back to them. I'm telling you, it's going to change your life. It's going to change the loved one's life that you had in your heart the whole time while you watch this. And you will be on a Testimony Tuesday to share what has happened for you. Take care and God bless. We will see you next Tuesday.